Hey guys, well, I thought that I'd start with something that I know you will like, and that is plugging something into your calculator. So, just as we have to be able to simplify radicals properly with getting a radical answer, not an irrational answer, we also can plug our radicals into our calculator. So I want to make sure that everybody is on the same page. Now, some of you may feel like you totally know how to do this, and if you do, that's great. You can go ahead and pause the video, find all of your answers, and then just check with me to make sure that you understand how to plug all of these in your calculator. I know some of us did a few of them in the class today, but I want to make sure that everybody can plug these into their calculator and get the correct answer. So if you don't need the explanation, go ahead and find the answers and then make sure you check them. For number 29, we just use the square root. We have an understood 2 as our root, and so we can just plug this in our calculator. When you do the square root of 7.8, you should get 2.793 if you were rounding to 3 decimal places or thousandths place. If I plug in negative square root of 89, then that negative on the outside stays. We can take the square root of 89 and we get 9.434. And so now we have our square root. The third problem that we have is the cubed root. And if you press math, this is where we have to use math. We actually do have a cubed root. On my calculator, it is number 4. All calculators are not the same. So I'm just going to say that you need to press the button for math, and then you need to do the cubed root of 25. If you do the cubed root of 25, you should get 2.924. We can also do the cubed root of negative 4. We go back to our math, and when we try to take the cubed root of negative 4, our answer has to be negative. So we're going to math. Because remember we said that if we can have negatives under the radical if we have an odd root, but that means the answer is going to be negative 1.587. So hopefully you were able to get these. Let's go ahead and finish the other 4 to make sure that we don't have any questions about this. If I do the fourth root, once again we have to press math, but before we press math, we are going to press 4 because we do have the nth root. If you go ahead and press math, you do have, it says x and then to the, but you have to tell it what root you want first. So because it's the fourth root, you're going to press 4 and then math and then the fourth root. You have to tell it that you're taking the fourth root. So if I press 4 math and then mine is number 5, but yours may be different, of 1.1, then you are going to get 1.024. If we did the fifth root in class, so once again we're going to have to press 5, then we go to math, and then we go to our x and root of. So negative 0.1 is fair because it is an odd root. So negative 0.631 if I rounded correctly. If you want to put this one in the calculator and you're not sure, this is one we did in class. We have to start with the 6, then we have to press math, and then we have to press x to the root. I'm going to check myself. to make sure that I did this correctly. 5,555, and I still got 4.208. That is the correct answer. And if we want to put 36 in, once again, it's something over a square root or a cubed root. So we start with our 4. We're going to press math. And then this is up to you, x, and then the root of. And we have our parentheses, and you know, Miss Baker, if there are parentheses, we should put them in. So 0.96, actually, I'm wrong. It would round the 9 up, which would then in turn round this to 7.0. So hopefully we know how to put these in your calculators. If you just sat and listened to me, then you didn't learn anything. You need to make sure that you practice putting all of these in your calculator and getting the correct answer. Because if the quiz, if there are problems on how do you evaluate using your calculator and you get those wrong, you're really going to hurt my feelings. Now, we have a few other problems that we really didn't get to talk about in class. So I'm going to try to look at a few of those. When we look at number 5, I'm going to do number 5 again because this is something that we did and I was brain dead this morning. So I want to make sure that everybody understands with the cubed root of negative 64. In my first class, we actually factored this all the way out. So somebody wanted to do 2 and 32, and then we did 2 and 16, and then we did 2 and 8, and then we did 2 and 4, and then we did another set of 2s. So we actually had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2s. So if you're trying to do it with 2s, when you have an even number, that is not going to allow you to get that negative that you want. However, if I use negative 4 times negative 4 times negative 4, that will allow me to have a cubed root of negative 4. So the answer to the cubed root of negative 64 is negative 4. If you want to find the cubed root of 0.512, honestly, I'm going to find it. I'm going to see what I can do in terms of 512. If I divide that by 2, I'm just going to do the cubed root of 0.512. Now, I know that there are some of you who may try to go to math and plug this in your calculator. If you get 0.512, you actually get 0.8. You did get 0.8 if you plug that in your calculator. But let's see if we can figure out how this is going to work. If I divide this by 2, then I get 256. If I divide 256, that's actually by 2. That's going to give me 256 divided by 2. I just want to make sure I get it right, is 128. 128 is going to be divisible by 2 and 64. 64 is going to be divisible by 2 and 32. And 32 is going to be divisible by 2 and 16. 16 is 2 and 8. Sorry for going so long. 2 and 4. And then 2 and 2. So we actually have, we want to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 2s. 9 2s, and sorry, I don't know why I did that. I was just doing the cubed root of 512. So if I have 9 2s, if I'm going to divide that into groups of 3, I have 1 group of 3, 2 groups of 3, 3 groups of 3. So this would be 2 times 2 times 2, or 8. And so since we have this decimal involved, that's where we get the 0.8. It is possible. We are looking for groups of 3 when we're taking the cubed root. Now, If we're taking the fourth root, we're looking for groups of 4. Now this negative on the outside doesn't do anything but make us negative. And honestly, it's a fourth root, so if you wanted to get real technical about it, you could go with the whole plus or minus thing. And so if I want to take 1,296, I know it's divisible by 2. So that's a place to start. I can split it into 2 and 648. 648, if I divide that by 2, I get 324. 324 divided by 2 is 162. Divided by 2 is 81. Now, I can see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4 2's, and I hope that some of you can see also that 81 is going to split into 9 times 9, which is how many 3's? 1, 2, 3, 4 3's. So we can take out a 3, take out a 4. That is going to leave me with an answer of negative 2 times 3, or negative 6. And check it in your calculator. Hit math. Oh, wait a second, not math. The first thing we have to hit is 4 because we don't have a button for the fourth root. Then math. Then we're going to take the root of 1,296, and I do get 6. The negative on the outside just makes it negative 6. All right, I have a couple more minutes. Let's do, oh, I don't know. Let's do 17. 17 is negative, so you technically could do that whole plus or minus thing if you wanted to. And then if we have 625, all I'm going for is 5. I know that it's got to be divisible by 5. And when I divide by 5, I get 125. Well, once again, that's divisible by 5, which gives me 25, and then 5 times 5. So in this case, I need 4 of the same thing, and my 4 is a 5. Now, why would you use 5's and s's all at the same time? That's kind of crazy. So I'm going to have a negative out here, and then I technically could have a positive because it could be negative 5, negative 5, negative 5, negative 5. So I'm going to have a 5, and if I have s to the 8, how many pairs of 4 do I have? Hopefully you all are screaming 2, Miss Baker, 2. I have 2 s's that I could take out. Well, up here, if we have the square root, you have a square root. If you remember, we were saying 8 divided by 4 in order to take the fourth root. Here we're going to say 8 divided by 2 in order to take the square root. And so that is going to leave me with 2x and to the fourth. Hopefully we're getting somewhere. We're going to do some practice tomorrow in class, which should be fun. And remember, only late schedule. We don't want to miss any school because we have to make those days up. Have a great day or night, everybody.